My name is Laura Klahre, and my farm is Blossom Meadow Farm. This past summer, I was weeding my red raspberries and I found these snails on the ground. And I was like, oh my goodness, you need to do art. So I picked them up and dipped them in watercolor and had them just walk across the page. And it is really stunning what nature can do. It's fascinating, actually. You can't fake snail art, because as a human, you always try to find symmetry. Whereas with the snails, they just walk anywhere they want. And if you try to poke them to move in a certain direction, they just go in their shell. I use Turner watercolors and just dip them in and let them walk on the watercolor paper. It's 140-pound watercolor paper. Then after they're done, I rinse them off and a few times and then just release them back onto the farm. So no snails are actually hurt in the making of this art. With this one, I see a bird. If you look at the green line here, right, so the belly, the beak, well, it turns out that snails are really important in the environment because they cycle nutrients up the food chain, and in particular calcium. So if birds don't eat enough snails, their eggs are not viable. And because they need that calcium. And even turkeys, female turkeys, right before they lay their eggs, increase their uptake of snails by 30%. So snails are just really an important part of the ecosystem that we never really think about. I am a conservation biologist, and I love the intersection of science and art. I love that snail art is a representation of not only how that snail moves, but also reminds you subconsciously to slow down, because they are definitely not the fastest painters. I love that the snail art is giving rotund disc snails some time in the spotlight. Snail art seems silly, but it's not. It's really important that we appreciate nature. I don't know, our lives are so busy, and a lot of times we don't take note of the small things. And so now this representation, it means a lot to me.